Okay, I'm actually recording on Zoom, which normally I do a course on Zoom. There is a reason for this. I'm hoping to record on Zoom, upload to YouTube, then put on Facebook. Sounds good, but there has to be a snag along the way. Anyway, I posted the tapestry, and what I'm going to do is called Search for the Holy Grail. I found this on an old hard drive. So it was done 2013. It was a weekend when the Saturday I did 5 Awakenings, the Sunday the Search for the Holy Grail. But 6:30 Saturday night, I still haven't got the end of it, so it wasn't finished. On the way around the club, I got the inspiration. I started to write it on a cigarette packet. Managed to finish it off. Steve Frost played flute on this, actually. It's really beautiful. So yes, it's a search for the Holy Grail. At some point, you go with the journey. I'm just going to screen share. Hopefully this works. It has. Cool. That tapestry hangs in the teaching room at the Rose School, by the way. Tapestry, the search for the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is the truth within, the God within. Grail is symbolic of the vessel which holds the blood of Christ. Are we all not a vessel for the soul? A vessel for the life of God and Christ to flow through. The search then is for the truth within. We are all a grail. It is lost or hidden from many, though is the holiness we shall therefore endeavour to find our own holy grail. Blood represents the life, the will, propelled through the vessel by the heart of love. Therefore, each of us is a child of God. The blood of Christ within us, the illusion of life, veils this fact within. The outer facade, distraction from the inner reality. Let us embark upon our search for the Holy Grail. Lost within a world they did not know. Whence they came they had forgotten. The purpose of their journey long since gone. Within the stillness, within the mist, the steady beat of hooves could be heard. The early morning light creating a warmth across the sky. Shafts of light filtered through the mist and fell upon the ancient oaks, the keepers of time that lined the avenue. As the riders passed along, weary from their journey, they hardly noticed the tree to their right. There was a nobility about it, a strength and grace, set it apart from the others. It was by far the oldest in the avenue, its twisted roots protruding through the mulch beneath its boughs. Sir Gawain's horse suddenly stumbled. His rider, almost thrown, was awakened to his senses. He looked to his companion, Sir Gawain. They nodded to one another in a silent knowing. Time to rest. They dismounted, dampness of the ground creeping through the leather of their boots. It was as if this place was trying to remind them of something. They settled themselves down among the roots of this great tree. Sir Gawain tried to bed himself down. He became aware of something hard beneath the mulch. He fumbled around in a weary effort to remove the cause of his discomfort. Much to his disdain, he could not find anything. He attempted to settle again. Once more, he felt the intrusion of the hard form beneath him. This time he turned and stood, determined to find the offending article. As he did, so a hush fell across the place. Even the birds became silent, as if in anticipation. He rummaged around within the moss and leaves, till at last he felt the smooth, cold surface of a stone. It was as large as his hand. He could not imagine how he had not found it the first time he had looked for it. So Yuan was puzzled by his companion's restlessness. He looked over to see what was causing his unrest. He saw Gawain kneeling upon the dewy ground, transfixed by a white stone which he held within his hand. A shaft of sunlight cut through the trees and fell upon the stone. A silvery white shimmer blinded them both. As their vision returned, they had a clarity and sharpness unknown to them before. The light danced like butterfly wings on the branches of the old oak. Gawain rubbed his eyes. They were tired and weary, and felt the light was playing tricks upon him. There in front of him, Gawain's face illuminated by a bluey white glow. It appeared to be emanating from the stone. Time stood still. Nothing moved. Horses stood silently by, dozing and aware of the events beside them. At last, Sir Gawain became aware of the gaze of his companion. They exchanged glances. Both pair of eyes fell once again upon the stone. It was beginning to warm and pulsate. The electric blue aura surrounded it. Both travellers forgot their weariness. A wave of rejuvenation flowed over them, and from within the blue light, an image began to appear. Slowly but surely, they saw the image of Reuben Mountain appear before them. And as surely as it had appeared, it faded, till there was nothing but a simple white stone. Two knights looked at one another. Without further words, saddled their horses, wrapped the stone within a cloth, placed it deep into one of the saddlebags. The sun was rising higher in the sky. The shadows receded fast as the last of the morning dew disappeared to the misty morning. Horses sensed the urgency of their riders and paced out, heads high and ears alert. A gentle breeze blew up and stirred the leaves in their peaceful slumber beneath the horses' feet. A flock of birds took flight in the midst of one of the oaks which lined the avenue. Their graceful journey upwards in seemingly effortless flight, coasting upon the thermals of the valley. And there before them, in the distance, was Reuben Mountain. Its harsh, rocky faces appear in the smooth contours, its icy summit submerged in the billowing white clouds. And there, between the knights and the mountain, was Linear Lake, its still waters disguising the raging underwater whirlpools which sank into the depths of the lagoon. So taken were the riders by the vision, they had seen earlier in the day, they completely overlooked the enormity and danger of trying to cross Linear Lake. It was foretold in ancient legend. Only those who were pure of heart, free from desire, possess the ability to cross unharmed over the lake to the foot of the mountain. So they approached the edge of the lake. Lush green grass was a welcome sight, gratefully received by the horses. Two men climbed down from their mounts and let them graze as they took stock of the task before them, how to cross the lake. So they looked across the image of Reuben Mountain, reflected upon the tranquil waters of the lagoon. Then slowly but surely the image began to contort. The surface of the lake rippled, and the earth momentarily shook. Without further warning, a vast hole spread out across the lake. A huge vacuum sucked down into the watery depths the image of the mountain and all that surrounded it. The horses startled, and the knight stepped back from the edge of the lake. Then, as quickly as it had appeared, the hole fills once more, and a ripple of silence passes over the lake, its waters returning to their illusionary calm and tranquil ways. So Ywain decided to look at the stone once more. He removed it from the saddlebag and carefully unwrapped it from the cloth, placed it down upon the lush grass at the water's edge and waited. Nothing happened. His friend was drinking from the cool, clear waters of a small bubbling spring, which lazily meandered down through the stony ground to join the lake. As he scooped up the water in his hands, he noticed at the bottom of the spring, one of the rocks seemed to have a strange inscription upon it. He plunged his hand into the small pool to try and retrieve it, but it would not move. It was held firm amongst the other rocks in the bottom of the pool. He called across to Ywain and picked up the cloth and stone, walked over to the spring. Gawain took the stone and held it under the surface of the bubbling spring. Once again, the stone began to glow. The whole pool illuminated with its steady glow of light. There appeared before them the inscriptions from the bottom of the pool, radiating up to the surface. It read, "Stout of heart, you can achieve what no man has before done. Possessor of the stone knows the way. Just look towards the sun." Voice within told them to lift the stone high into the air towards the sun. Rays of light from the sun, like a piercing beam of gold, hit the stone, started to vibrate, became transparent with rainbows, and turned into an orb of clear crystal. Secondary beam shot out of the crystal, down onto the lake. Before their eyes, a rainbow bridge slowly manifested across the lake. As the crystal orb was lowered, came once more the stone. Stone that contained 49 elements. Standing in silence before the rainbow bridge, they felt they were not alone. We now can travel with them. Collectively, we ask to be guided by the wings of Mercury, to be guarded by the rider on the white horse. We now follow the knights as they cross the rainbow bridge. Images come and go. Many things are visioned to lead you off the rainbow bridge and into the depths of dark despair. Money, power, the illusion and glamour of astral images. Archangels of the mind present themselves to lure you away from the destiny of the stone. We finally succeed and conquer the awesome image of the ego. Fear has been thrown aside. The divine will has safeguarded our travel. We stand with the knights at the foot of the mountain. We've earned the right to join their quest. It's a quest, it's what we all face. Following the knights, they lead their horses slowly up the mountain, through the trees that lie on the lower slopes. Stones cut into rectangles lie dotted around. It's a distant memory of ancient walls and buildings. An ancient legend of those that lived at the foot of the sacred mountain. The purity was a legend until the forces of separation came in the guise of a powerful magician who gained their trust. Thus fear and greed destroyed their culture. Few withdrew the hidden mystery to where no one knows. But maybe the mountain holds the secret. A stone pathway starts to appear as the trees become sparse. Rocks pave their way. A portal appears of stone before them, with carved images in a language unknown. Beyond the stone steps leading upwards, carved into the mountain, Mercury guides us to pause and study what has been carved. There is a message for each of us to take with us on our journey. Leaving the horses behind, the knights start to climb the stone steps. We follow. Looking upwards, there seems no end to the steps. They disappear into the mists of the mountain. We invoke our will and determination, even though there appears no end. We travel up into the unknown. Stopping, we look back. All we see is steps. We look forward. Once more, there are only steps. Doubt starts to enter, and there appears no way back. Dark cloud starts to descend. The fear of failure starts to loom heavy. Once more, Mercury calls us to raise the stone high into the air, call upon its power to illuminate our journey. Lifted up, the stone turns into a crystal orb. Its light penetrates and disperses the dark cloud of doubt and fear. Clear sky returns. Crystal orb becomes the stone once more. The illusion of the cloud has gone. Finally, the steps lead onto a plateau. We climb the last 22 steps. "343 steps in all. We rest to ponder what lies in front of us. There is a door into the mountain. Something else has followed our journey, stands between us and the door. Powerful being, the magician of separation and greed, seeks to find and destroy that which we search for. It smiles at us, offering riches. For the stone that the knights hold protectively, The magician has taken on the appearance of a goddess. Beautiful music fills the air. You are sorely tempted. The knights draw their swords. They are not fooled by the outer appearance. Face of the goddess changes, hands raised, the elements in full fury, lashing rain, thunder, lightning crashes down. Raise up the stone before we are consumed. Powerful intent, the knights throw their courage in unity of purpose. Stone held high, it glows as the sun, forms a golden canopy of protection. The magician calls upon his full power to break and crush the golden dome. The voice comes to us. You are not powerless. Join together as one. Invoke the aid of the rider on the white horse. With open hearts, we invoke the rider to our aid. Through the darkness, a shaft of white light appears. The rider descends from the heavens. The magician faces the rider. An awesome sound is heard and a blinding light. And all is calm. The magician has vanished. The rider is seen disappearing in the distance. The white horse rears up high, then vanishes. The door stands free. The dark forces are no more before us. Sense of liberation prevails. The knights return their swords. The stone starts to draw us magnetically towards the door, turning once more to the silence. We gaze at the door in all its beauty. There are many jewels embedded in its ivory white surface. The emeralds, garnets, and sapphires speak to us through their perfected beauty. Above the two-levered door is a large ruby. Stone rises of itself and faces the ruby. A massive wave of love and compassion washes over us. The ruby and stone, in recognition of themselves, dance the dance of light. Colours of beauty flash outwards. The sound comes from the door. A line appears down its centre. It starts to open inwards. The misty haze shimmers outwards, and there stands a figure dressed in white, hair and beard of golden, his eyes of fire, brightest of blue. We are transfixed. As his gaze turns towards the stone, he smiles. His eyes usher us to follow. As he turns and enters the misty corridor, we step forward and follow. We become enveloped in a haze of white and gold. The door closes and a voice tells us to stand still. Slowly the mist clears and a temple appears before us. Columns of light, patterns and geometries upon the floor, many doors. The apex is a pyramid. Orbs of light come and go. There is a presence beyond imagination. In the centre is a gold pedestal, surrounded by the eternal flame of life. A column of white light rising up from the pedestal through the roof of this vast chamber. Beings of light surround the pedestal. We stand perplexed. Where is the Holy Grail? The knights who have made the long journey look to each other and then to the stone, trying to find the answer. Once more, an inner voice says, lift up the stone. Stone magically turns into the orb of crystal, floats out of the knight's hand, hovers over the pedestal, and then before our eyes transforms into what man has always searched for, the Holy Grail. Takes its place upon the pedestal. We stand in awe. waiting for the grail to reveal the hidden mystery. The man in white turns towards us. His words echo to the very depths of our being. You, the stone, the Holy Grail, and the hidden mystery are one of the same. Stone becomes the orb of crystal, and then the Holy Grail. Yet it was the Holy Grail all the time. Partake of the Holy Grail and reveal your hidden mystery. And that's the end of the story. Reveal your hidden mystery.